All right, we are back with another pick'em video. It is Wednesday, November 12th in the NBA. We have a huge slate today. Obviously, that means injury news. That means some back-to-back situations, but really loving the slate. I got a bunch of plays for you guys to share in this one, and we're going to get right into things. So if you're new around here, definitely go and leave the video a like, comment something down below, subscribe if you are new. All those good things will help YouTube push this video out a little bit more. And before we get into the picks for today, we always go over the recap of yesterday's video picks, and we'll do that right now. And this is going to be a lesson because Dennis Schroeder, you'll see we went 2-2 yesterday, so lost a little bit of juice. 2-2, but Dennis Schroeder over his 2.5 rebounds was not originally going to be a video pick. It was something I was looking at, but I wasn't fully there. I should have just trusted my gut, and I smacked in a fourth play there at the end, and he didn't even get 2.5 rebounds. He didn't even get 2.5 points. He had 0 points, 0 rebounds. Horrible game overall, even to watch. But Westbrook, on the other hand, was very fun to watch last night against the Nuggets in the first half, at least, before I fell asleep. But let's talk about our winners, Nembhard and Derek White, the guys with the same lines and the exact same payout. We won them both. Derek White started the game horrible shooting. He's like 0 for 5 or something to start from three-point land. Could not buy a bucket, and I was like, here we go again. But he started cooking in the third quarter specifically, and he ended up crushing this line. Nembhard as well also crushed this line. He's going to look better and better as the season progresses. Pacers obviously not dealing with any sort of winning this season, but obviously no Halliburton, no Miles Turner anymore. They're dealing with some other stuff, but Siakam's looked great, and Nembhard has looked pretty good so far, and Nesmith's just shown flashes too. So Pacers got some good things to come, but not this year. And then A.J. Mitchell was the loss. I ended up chasing the plus money. I know a lot of people attacked this at 16.5. I know other people attacked it at 17.5 on the under as well. He ended with 17, so chasing the plus money didn't help us. If you did get that at 17.5, that would have been nice little cash for you, but we kind of called the blowout situation here, and that was the case against this Warriors team, but it didn't matter. He shot pretty much on par for what he normally shoots, and just goes over with 17. It could have gone here or there. I didn't think this was one where we were going to dominate the under. I thought it would be close, and unfortunately it just goes over for us. So yeah, 2-2 day. That's not the worst in the world. YouTube master right here. We're up 5.3 units on the season, and we are on a 9-3 run, including those 2 losses from last video. So yeah, pretty good. I've got now an October and a November tab to kind of differentiate between the two. But yeah, I'm tracking everything like I have been all season. Very transparent over here, showing you guys my wins, showing my losses. Hopefully you appreciate that. And going over to the Discord, I don't shout it out enough, but if you guys want access to all my plays and I think a very fun community where you can talk sports, talk plays, talk props, whatever it might be, you can check out my Discord community in the link in the description down below. We crushed PrizePicks yesterday, which was awesome. If you're wondering, I guess I can just pull up my PrizePicks account too. If you're wondering why I only put $5 on certain slips, this was like the taco. I can still play the tacos, but I'm limited on all the tacos, which is unfortunate, but we still can get some action down on there. So we crushed PrizePicks yesterday, and sometimes we're crushing PrizePicks, sometimes we're crushing Underdog, sometimes we're crushing Betr or Dabble, whatever it might be, but for the season, we're crushing everything. So plus 273.1 units for the entire year. So definitely check us out. Again, link in the description down below. You get access to all my plays, all my slips, and it's a fun community, so definitely check us out. Now all the housekeeping's out of the way, let's hop into Props Madness like we always do. Props Madness is awesome. You're going to see me use it throughout the entire video. We're going to talk about Nikola Vucevic for the first play of the video, -120 on the over, 3-pointers made, 1.5 for the big guy. And I'm loving this matchup for him. You can see the spot up, 7th ranked overall, but I'm going to be just thinking about this game in general. He's going to have Jalen Duren on him, Duren versus Vucevic. You don't want Duren, the rebound machine, to be camping in the paint, camping in the lane. He's also a good shot blocker. So Vucevic stepping outside the three-point line and maybe knocking down some threes is going to make a lot of sense for me when you're looking at this game overall. And he's actually played this team already once this season. He shot 6 threes in that game and knocked down 4 of them. And he's had pretty good success against this team overall in the past few years. This is last year's matchup. He had a 6 3-pointer game, a 4 3-pointer game, and you can see the percentages, 6 for 8, 4 for 6. I'm assuming these are wide open with Duren lacking and maybe just staying inside the paint a little bit. Just caught lacking on the perimeter. And we see the games he's not going over, 0 for 5 and then 1 for 3 here. So he still knocked down 1 in that situation. So I'm really liking the upside here. I might honestly ladder this up to maybe 2.5 threes, but I'm loving this matchup for him to get some threes. It makes a whole lot of sense for me. And I think we're getting a great price here, -120 on BetMGM. So yeah, Vucevic, there's not much more else to talk about. We have seen some guys by position. These are centers. They're ranked 2 centers. I think by position 21st ranked overall in terms of allowing 3-pointers to centers, so that bodes well. It makes a lot of sense. And 3-pointers allowed, they're very much middle of the road. So it's not a team that is completely denying the 3-pointer, especially for centers here. And we've seen a couple guys come out and knock down some threes. But yeah, I'm just thinking about this one with intuition. I saw this play, I saw this price. I'm loving the 1.5. Might even put some like a 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 units on the 2.5 as well here, because he's able to knock him down. We've seen that already this season. So Vucevic over 1.5 3-pointers. First play of the video. Moving to the second play here, and it's going to be one that people that only look at hit rates are not going to love, but we've done pretty well on these. I remember the Keontae George assist line, we took the under, which was against the grain. That one hit. The Scotty Barnes under his 3-pointers. That one hit as well, even though he'd been hitting some threes. And this is going to be very similar. 7.5 rebounds. I'm looking at the under, minus 105 on BetMGM. And first of all, he's going up against a team that doesn't allow, they allow least amount of rebounds in the entire league. To the position and to just in rebounds in general, they are ranked number 1. So that's obviously a good sign. They're a huge lineup, and the Rockets are just a very good rebounding team. It's tough for even centers. Just look at all the centers that have not been getting their lines. You got Miles Turner grabbed 6, but every other center has been under their line, and that includes Wemby, only had 8 rebounds on a 10.5 line, and Hartenstein, 8 rebounds on a 9.5 line. So even guys with higher rebound lines are not getting their rebounds. The next thing I'll point to is the fact that this is the Wizards. We know they deal with a lot of blowout potential, and this is a 16.5 point spread. So if this is a blowout, that's going to mean less time for Alex Sarr. If we can see games, I just went to the win-loss margin, 16.5 point spread. If they lose by 15 points or more, he's only over this. He is over this in 4 of the 6 games, but again, remember the matchup, the best rebounding team in the league, and he's only creeping over with 8, has had a couple games with 4. If they stay within 15 points or win the game, which I think they have like 1 win on the season, not many, then that's the games that he's crushing this rebounds line. And so if they stay in it, maybe it's a little bit easier for him to get. But with the blowout situation, much harder for him to get. That is the situation probably today with a 16.5 point spread. And again, just tack on the fact that this is the best rebounding team in the entire league. If you go to the more advanced filters here, you can see this is opponents' rebounds allowed. You can see, the one game he went up against a really tough rebounding defense, 3rd ranked for the Hornets. He only had 4 in that game. And you look at the games he's going over, 11 rebounds here, 23rd ranked for the Milwaukee Bucks. You can see 11 rebounds here. They're ranked 13th for the 76ers are in terms of rebounds allowed. 15 rebounds in this one. That was an overtime game, and 14th in terms of rebounds allowed. So now he gets a very tough rebound matchup, literally number 1. You can see a great history of centers not hitting the rebounds line and tack on the blowout potential. Really liking the spot for Alex Sarr, despite the hit rate looking like you maybe want to look at the over here. So it is a minus 105 line. It is favored on the over. So we're attacking some good money on this one, some good value. But I am liking the avenue for the under 7.5 boards much more than the over here. Moving into play number 3, I'm not going to spend too much time on it because Giannis is questionable, but I do like the under potential. Again, similar kind of thing. Rebounds 11.5, minus 110, going up against a team that doesn't allow a whole bunch of rebounds. You can see rebounds allowed, 3rd ranked overall. We saw that in the play I just talked about. Hornets' difficult defense to go up against in terms of getting rebounds. And Giannis obviously can crush this line at any given time, but he has been staying under more recently, which I do like to see here. This is a 5.5 point spread in favor of Milwaukee. But again, Giannis with the questionable tag, not going to spend too much time on it. If he doesn't play, it doesn't hurt us. But if he does play, honestly, the questionable tag might help us here if he's limited in any sort of way with that knee injury that's putting him on the injury report right now. That's something I do like to see. So difficult matchup for him to get some boards. I also went and looked at last year in terms of teams that he's going up against that don't allow a whole bunch of rebounds. Top 10 in rebounds per game. If you get rid of the playoffs, that's a lot of Pacers games, get rid of the playoffs, he's only over this in 45% of games. So he is more likely to go on the under against these top 10 defenses in terms of allowing rebounds, which we see today. And even going to rebounds allowed per game today, we can see he's had some tough games against the Rockets, who we just talked about in that last play. He only had 8 rebounds in that one. He played the Knicks. That's a tough one. And then he's getting some good rebounds games against the Wizards. That makes sense. 30th ranked. 19th ranked for the Raptors, 23rd ranked for the Cavs so far. So a lot of the games he's staying under, it's a much more difficult rebounding matchup. And the ones that are harder, the ones that are harder, he's staying under. So I like this matchup to stay on the under with the questionable tag. It kind of helps if he does go out there and play. Maybe a little bit limited, I doubt it. But yeah, I'm liking this under potential for Giannis, which I know is hard to do sometimes, but minus 110, pretty good price here. Now taking a look at Thompson, this is just another weird one. I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's kind of self-explanatory. We've talked about this game already, the Wizards and the Rockets, huge blowout potential in this one, and it's an Thompson 3-pointers line. Looking at the under, best price right now is actually on DraftKings, minus 109 on the under, and he's stayed under more times this season than he's gone over, and he doesn't shoot many threes. He had 4 3-pointers attempts in in this one, but he's probably going to be going to the rack against this team. 82% of his points come right at the rim anyway. They rank 27th there. Free throws, transition, pick and roll, ball handling, all great matchups for him. The spot up is kind of middle of the road, but again, this Wizards team's pretty horrible on offense. But at the same time, Thompson does not shoot a lot of three-pointers. We can see a lot of these games, especially in that first game, he shot 0 of 7, and then he kind of came back down to earth. Probably working on that three-pointer in the offseason, but just didn't work out for him. 0 for 1, 0 for 1, 0 for 1. Some games he's only shooting 1. 1 for 1 here, 1 for 3. Just doesn't shoot a lot of them, so if this is a blowout, that's going to be less time on the court for him. And again, he can take advantage of the Wizards in a lot of different other ways. Both matchups last year, 0 for 1, and then 0 for 0 in 40 minutes. So really liking this under for Thompson. Another one that we're just getting good price, -109 on DraftKings, and I don't mind that at all. Even though it's a weird one, it's a sweaty one. He can knock down one early and it's over, but at the same time, he might not shoot a 3 the entire game. So liking this potential for the under here for Thompson. But let's talk about an over. It's going to be a nice super starter to root for tonight. 24.5 points for Jaylen Brunson. Now you can see a lot of books have this at 25.5, but BetMGM is offering -110, and they're offering -120 at the over 24.5. So I'll probably take this at both times. I'll probably even ladder this up to 30 points for Jaylen Brunson as well. But yeah, 24.5 points is going to be the official play. You'll see in the recap how I specifically go to it in terms of the units, but this will be the main line. 24.5 points for Jaylen Brunson, -120, not -110 right here. But obviously going over this in a decent amount of games so far this season. It is a back-to-back situation, but that does not affect me for a guy like Jaylen Brunson. They're coming off a 13-point win. He played 36 minutes in that game against the Grizzlies. And now he gets a matchup where he can, get some floaters, which we see Jaylen Brunson do all the time, but it's also a very weak pick-and-roll ball handling defense, which we love to see. We saw Cade Cunningham drop 30 points against this team. Positionally, it's also really good. You can see a lot of point guards going over against this line, 62% of them actually. But yeah, loving this spot for a guy like Jaylen Brunson. Injury report, we can take a look, but maybe a guy like Towns ends up sitting or something like that. We can see Mitchell Robinson's questionable right now, but it is a back-to-back. If someone pops up on the injury report, hopefully not Jaylen Brunson, that could be a good thing. But even so, this is a different led Knicks team. They're not playing a million minutes per night this season. And going back to last year, taking a look at back-to-back situations, he played very well in back-to-back, scored over this line in 8 of 10 games in back-to-back situations. So I absolutely love to see that. So Jaylen Brunson, loving to see this. Closing line, he was over in 7 of 10. So again, different lines last year, but even the closing line, he was still over this in back-to-backs. So he's a really good back-to-back guy anyway, and he's got a great matchup tonight to score some points. So a nice over for you guys. Again, 24.5. A lot of books have this 25.5. I'm just taking the easier line to hit at -120, but I'm also probably going to take this at -110 and then maybe even up to 30 plus points. And just to show you guys here, BetMGM, you see me bet on that a lot because I think it's one of the softest books out there that's like a mainstream book. -120 on the over, 25.5. But again, I took this for 25 plus is what they called it on BetMGM, and it's still -120. So they're just messing up this line. You see me attack BetMGM all the time. I think they're the softest mainstream book out there. And I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to join BetMGM if it's available in your state. I'm not partnered with anyone, or I'm not partnered with them, but I'll give you my share, a link code or whatever it might be, and you get money back if it loses up to $1,000. So it's a pretty good first time depositor bonus or whatever it might be. But yeah, definitely check out BetMGM if it's in your area because they're kind of a stupid book, to be honest. Then moving along to this play, it's probably going to be a 0.5 unit play, to be totally honest. -122 on the under 6.5 assists for Russell Westbrook. Now, obviously, has dominated this assists zone in a decent amount of games so far this season, but a lot of those games have been, or I guess 2 of them at least, have been without Sabonis. With Sabonis in the lineup, he's only over this in 2 of 8 games, Sabonis being one of the main distributors. But yeah, I was watching the broadcast yesterday. He was playing really well, and they mentioned, hey, this guy turns 37 tomorrow, and I did confirm it is his birthday. So if that's someone you don't want to fade on their birthday, honestly, it might be. Probably why it's a 0.5 unit play. You'll see it in the recap, but I officially make it a 0.5 unit play. But yeah, Westbrook, hard guy to fade in general. He's kind of a hard guy to predict, but this is a tough matchup for him to get some assists pretty much anywhere except for the paint, where he does get 36% of his assists, but 27, 24, and 12% come from the corners. So there's a lot other avenues to get assists that are going to be tough to come by. You can see his potential assists too with Sabonis in the lineup. He's only averaging 9 potential assists, and he needs to get 7 assists here, so that's going to be a little bit difficult for him. And he has played 1 back-to-back situation this year, and again, Sabonis was in that game, so I don't think Sabonis sits tonight. And he had 4 assists on 7 potential assists. He would have to convert on all of his potential assists in that game in 29 minutes. So it's a difficult matchup to get some assists. Westbrook also seems to kind of play up to his competition. He's got some grudge with the Nuggets. He's got maybe not a grudge, but he loves playing against the OKC Thunder. That's his old team, and I don't know. I think this is the good fade spot. My gut's telling me don't, just because it's Westbrook on his birthday, and he's playing with a lot of I don't even know, triumph or energy, and it's a tough guy to fade in general. But I do like this under. Looking back to last year, games he's going to see. Obviously, we're not looking at this. We want to see games he's playing a decent amount of minutes, but games where he's seeing the potential assists around 9 or something, we can go do see that. We can see let's say 7 to 9 potential assists, because that's kind of where he's been at so far this season. If I can even do that. 7 to 9 potential assists. That's what has been his average. We'll do 7 to 10 potential assists. He's only over this in 20% of games. Even if you give him 11% assists, he's only over in 27% of games. So it's a difficult spot for him. So he might get time in the court. It is a back-to-back. He's an older dude. It's his birthday. Tough guy to fade, but I'm liking the under, and I think the research is going to go into this, that it makes more sense to take the under. And then quickly rapid firing some leans. I was looking at the Celtics game because I am a Celtics fan. Peyton Pritchard over 15.5 points at minus 102 looks pretty solid here. Only over in 50% of games, but he's coming off 2 complete duds, shooting 2 of 9 and 2 of 8 from the field. Now he gets a much easier matchup here. Pick and roll ball handling, that's kind of his main source of scoring right now. Spot up transition, all 25, 21, and 20% of his points. That's his main source of scoring. Much easier matchup, middle of the road, or a good matchup for him. Above the break, we know he shoots a ton of threes from above the break. 22nd ranked there, so I don't mind the spot for Peyton Pritchard. Nice little lean situation. And then maybe counterintuitively, I'm looking at this plus money play for Jaylen Brown. He is on a back-to-back, and I'm liking the plus 115 on the under 4.5 assists. The glaring point that you might not want to look at this is the fact that the Grizzlies gave up a ton of assists, 23rd ranked assists allowed. Dominant assist zone, they're ranked 23rd. Positionally, they're ranked 30th, dead last. So it's a pretty good spot for him to get some assists. But I will say he's not one to dime the ball up much, to be totally honest. And I also like to see his potential assists are super low. I went through here. Other than that first game, he had 15 potential assists. He never had a game more than 10 potential assists, and he's usually around 7 or 8 as potential assists. Even 6 sometimes. So taking a look at all, just looking at max, obviously he's under this more often than he's over, but it's a different situation this season. But seeing the potential assists so far this season, you can see the advanced filters go to potential assists, and even if you're getting 6 to 10 potential assists, he's still only over this in 35% of games. It's a great matchup for assists, but it is a back-to-back situation. We know the Celtics struggle to shoot the ball anyway. We saw that yesterday, at least in that first half. So maybe they're not hitting as many shots as possible. Oh, that's really wanted to see this. 6 to 10, 30% hit rate. So again, different situation. We can see games so far this season with 6 to 10 potential assists. He's only over, and I think that's every game. He's only over in 36% of games. So he's just more likely to go under, I think, here. But it's a plus money play. Not sure if this is going to be official play or not. But again, you'll see this in the recap. Just wanted to point this one out for you guys for some more plays, because we got a lot of games going on tonight. And then lastly, De'Aaron Fox, 19.5 points over in both the games so far this season. Played 31 minutes in that first game, 37 minutes in that second game, and now he's got the Golden State Warriors. I don't mind the matchup for him. Maybe more of a difficult one if you want to look at pick and roll ball handling and free throws. But really, he scores in that floater zone a whole bunch, and with Wemby playing the way he is, it's a lot easier for Fox to get open. A lot of people swarm Wemby, and that's going to leave open spots for a guy like De'Aaron Fox to work with a lot of space. And the Warriors coming off a back-to-back, the Spurs are not. So 19.5 points for a guy that's coming in this season. Started slow, 31 minutes, and had 24 points and 21 points. Shot really efficiently. This could be a good spot for him too. So hopping into the recap here, we talked about a bunch of different plays. We'll start with Vucevic over his threes, minus 120 on BetMGM, 1.5 threes. I'm also putting 0.25 units on the 2.5 threes and 0.1 units on the 3.5 threes, plus 700 payout there. Alex Sarr under his 7.5 rebounds, minus 105. We're taking that against the Rockets. Giannis under his rebounds at 11.5. He is questionable, but he's been staying under recently. He's got a tough matchup for that too. Thompson under his threes, 0.5, minus 109 on DraftKings. Jaylen Brunson over his points at 24.5, minus 120, and points at 29.5, so 30 plus and 25 plus. 20 plus 240, 0.25 units on that. And then Russell Westbrook, going to be a 0.5 unit play because it is his birthday. I think I faded someone else on their birthday once, and they creamed me. So they creamed me. They crushed me in that one. So under 6.5 assists for Russell Westbrook is going to be a 0.5 unit play. So that'll do it for me in this one. We talked about a ton of different plays. I added some leans in there as well. So look at Pritchard, maybe look at some Jaylen Brown under assists, whatever way you want to go on that. I probably wouldn't parlay them. I like De'Aaron Fox today too. I was also looking at Zubac's rebounds and assists. I like a lot of different plays. I'm going to be looking at the board for a bunch of time today and send out plays to my Discord all throughout the day. So check out my link in the description if you want to get access to all my plays. The Discord community is a lot of fun. And again, you get access to me and a whole bunch of plays. You can ask me questions, whatever it might be. It's really fun, so definitely check that out. And you also want to check out Props Madness. That was a tool I was using all throughout the video. 25% off your first month if you want access to that. Link in the description down below. And I will shout out Underdog today because if you play 5, you get $100 in Underdog right now. That's $95 free to mess around with. Use my code RICHPICKS when signing up, and you'll get that promo, which is awesome. I think they also have a 50% deposit match too. So you get a lot of free money just for signing up for Underdog. And again, one of my favorite platforms out there. Also check out PrizePicks because we were dominating PrizePicks yesterday. And again, all the links in the description down below. Got to plug some stuff in there. Definitely check those out. It does help the channel whenever you guys do that. So I appreciate that. And also let me know whenever you use my codes to signing up for these new platforms, because I'll give you a free month in my Discord if you go out and use my code when signing up. So comment something down below or find me in the free part of the Discord. Say, hey, I use your code. Can I get access to the premium? And I'll go ahead and do that for you. So good luck with all your picks today. And I will see you guys in the next one. Enjoy some basketball. Peace out.